Hello everyone, this is Linkamus Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at something that I would definitely consider the current peak of Hasbro. Something that I, as a Transformers fan, would not expect to be so insanely good from this company. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Studio Series 86 Grimlock. Now, this figure is something that I and many other Transformers fans have been very excited for, and to have it out, and it's been a while since this came out. It's been at least a year. This figure still holds up very well, and the pure and utter design and everything else of this figure is outstanding. The detail is pretty much everything you'd expect to see on a current type of generation's Transformers figure. So, and it is very nicely painted. There's no, paint mishaps or detail mishaps of any kind on this guy, and just everything else, the entire physique of this figure is as G1 accurate as you possibly can get. Now, there is a few things that I would like to share my concerns about. Mainly just these two screw holes. These three screw holes. I hate these so much because I wish that this right here could have been clear like the G1 Grimlock toy. And I think there is like an upgrade kit for this, but that would have been way cooler, and it wouldn't have hidden it, but it would have helped to hide this hole right here. With the head by itself, though, it wouldn't have really helped. But at least, guys, you could have put maybe some fillers in here. But just overall, everything else, like, when you look at it from this side, it is way better. But this figure is so insanely good. I absolutely love this thing. Good doesn't even begin to describe this thing. This thing is pure perfection. This thing is pure perfection. I'm making that word. In fact, I'm adding that word to my vocabulary. This figure is utter perfection. Besides those 2 or 3 screw holes, that's about it. This is a masterpiece figure in a budget, retail type action figure that you can just find. Yeah, you don't get as good as this gets right here. Articulation as well is something that is also really good with this guy. You get like the legs can go out like this. I mean, they're the arms in robot mode, so what do you really expect from there? But that's pretty good. You could do the splits. They can go all the way around, and they're on a ratchet joint, which is really nice. And then there's also this joint right in here, which you have to untab from the leg, and you're gonna have this on a knee bend. Oh, that came untabbed. There we go. And it has a really nice knee bend. Also the front toes can move down, which is something that we get on most Grimlock figures. But that is that's basic for Grimlock. But the one part that I definitely did not expect from Hasbro was the fact that the arms are as articulated as they are, because they never are this good with articulation. I mean, yeah, it's only 2 points. You get the ball joint and this hinge at the elbow, but that's really good considering that we never really see this outside of like Masterpiece. So the arms, or the shoulders, I mean, can move out that much. Not too great, but that's fine. They can go all the way around like that. It kind of gets stopped by the legs, and then also the elbows are on a hinge, and usually we don't see that, so that is really cool. The head can turn on the neck. It can look up about that far and down about that far, and the jaw can open up. So, articulation is basic, but it's really good for what this is. There's nothing at the tail, but I don't expect anything to be here considering how bulky this tail is. But articulation is definitely a solid 10 for me. But, definitely great when it comes to that. So, yeah. Now, this does have a few features. He does come with this gun, which does store, but if I have him in dinosaur mode, I don't store this gun on him for this particular reason. You get these 2 tabs right here, and then there's these two tabs right here, and so they basically just slot in right here, like so, and that's your weapons storage. No, I'm not a fan of that. It kind of works, but he just has this gun kind of sticking on him in the back, so I keep that off. He looks way better without it. And then another feature is he comes with Wheelie, which honestly, this is like the weak point of this figure in my opinion. Wheelie does not transform. He does have some articulation. You do get two ball joints on the hips, so you could like do the splits. You move his legs around and stuff like that. He has a swivel at the waist joint, and his arms are on a ball joint like that, and his head moves. He doesn't transform or anything like that. You can get him in a pose where he's shooting his little thing. I can't remember what it's called. A slingshot. You can shoot his little slingshot, but that's pretty much all you could really get him to do. I'm pretty sure there was an upgrade for this figure. I don't know if it made him transform, but I definitely know it added articulation. I'm not a fan of this. Now, you can put him on top of Grimlock. So there are these two tabs right here on the sides, right there and there, and then there's these two slots right here. So all you gotta do is just sit him down and then just align the tabs like so, and you'd have him sit down on Grimlock, and I think that looks really cool. And you could get him into like a really cool type of pose, like a fighting pose, and I think that works really, really nicely. So just to have that. I mean, Wheelie not really being able to transform, he's more so just a display type thing. If you would just want to display him with Grimlock in Grimlock's dinosaur mode, and that's kind of what he's meant for. But pretty much that's all he kind of does, and not a big deal, but definitely wish he could have done a little bit more, especially for the price. But it's fine. But you can get him in poses like that, and I think that looks really, really cool. And if there's one thing that I definitely love about Hasbro's Transformers now is compatibility. And one thing that I find cool, like one feature that I find cool about this figure, is if you open the mouth, there is this little tiny, like, if you kind of see that, it's right there. It's a tab, and what that's for is if you take a Siege Effect part, this is from the Siege Omega Supreme, there's this little hole right here, and you just put it right there, and he could have a little fire breath, and I absolutely love that feature. I think that is amazing, and I think that's something that they should have found a way to do maybe on the other Grimlock, not with these effect pieces, but maybe just some, if it came with like a fire breath piece on the Age of Extinction Studio Series one, I think that would have been great. But I just love compatibility like this. This is absolutely amazing. Well, we spent enough time in the dinosaur mode, so let's get down to the transformation. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to come here to the chest and split it. This is going to take a bit of maneuvering, also nails as well. I'm going to try to get this out like that. So untab that. Then you're going to bring this up like so it doesn't run into the legs, and then just fold them out like so. Then you're going to take the head, flip that back, and then just kind of flip that back down just for a bit of clearance. Take the head, fold it up like so, and then now take this entire assembly and untab it, bring it up, and tab that into place. And next what you're going to do is you're going to take the hands, fold them out like so, and like so, just like that, and also untab these sections which were kind of locked into the dinosaur mode like so, and like so, and there we have the arms done, well, more so just the upper body. Then I just recommend bringing those out like so, and then come here to the back, and I think this is one of the cooler parts of the transformation. You're gonna take these sections right here and untab them just like so, and just bring them out of the way, and then these sections right here on the tail are gonna come out and fold in and basically fill the gap, and this will definitely help in robot mode once you see it. And then take the legs, fold them down. There are these little grooves right here and these little tab type of clips right here, and they kind of just clip into place like so. So that kind of just holds everything together. It's not the most secure, but the thing that'll secure it is when these sections right here flip back, tab into place. They don't really tab in, they kind of just slot in, but still works. Do the same thing on the other side. And then now take the heel, bring that back, tab that in. Same thing on that side, bring it back, tab it in, straighten everything out, and then also come to the back. There's a tab right here on the neck and a slot right here. Bring that down, tab it in, take the arms, align them on the back like so. Make sure everything's accurate, kind of bring them back if you want to. Straighten everything out, make sure that he is nice and well. And after a very, very smooth transformation, here we have the Studio Series 86 Grimlock in his robot mode. And this figure right here is one of the reasons why I still have a slight bit of faith in Hasbro. This figure is so cool. I absolutely love the amount of G1 accuracy in this, as well as some added, you know, kind of more modern looking detail, you know, especially with all these like panels and all that kind of stuff on the figure. This just looks so cool to me. Now a lot of the details on here that I think are very cool, especially like here on the legs. I love the blue, red, and green down there on the legs, which is very accurate to his, you know, G1 design. We get the red here and the gold, and this section right here, which is kind of covering up. There's an Autobot logo in there. You can kind of see it in that light, but you get the black head right there and the blue eyes right there as well, and then also like the wings that he has on the sides. And that's another thing. Like the transformation is very accurate, especially when you compare it to the G1 toy, which I actually have right here. And if you see, like right here, here's the G1 toy. That from this to that is so cool. Now I don't have the Masterpiece figure to compare this with, but this is honestly very close to the Masterpiece. But just seeing something like this from Hasbro at a $50-$60 price point is absolutely outstanding. Now the only real feature you do get in robot mode, because you know when he's out of dinosaur mode, you have a little bit less feature, like, you know, more feature disadvantages, but you can still just give him his gun. So here we have his gun, just pop it into his hand and he can wield his blaster, and honestly that looks so cool in my opinion. So there he is with that. Now, like I mentioned, one of the things that I absolutely find amazing about this figure in his robot mode is that part of the tail that when he transformed into the leg section, actually like that. So there is, like this section right here is the tip of the tail. It may not color match because it has to be accurate in dinosaur mode, but because it fills in that gap, it's seamless. It's not seamless, it's gapless. There's no gaps. The only gaps that is really on this figure is in the arms, which I think they could have found a way to do, but honestly, I don't care. The fact that there's no form of gapping except for in the arms is absolutely amazing. Everything is covered up, everything is filled in, and that is something that I definitely love to see on more future Hasbro releases. Please, Hasbro, please include more gap filling, because honestly, when it comes to those ugly gaps, like for example, let me see if I can find a figure. Oh yeah, like right here. So here's Bumblebee, for example. You can see those little holes and gaps. That just doesn't look good. I mean, this is a smaller figure, but you know, for something like this, this looks way better. Now the only real feature you do get in robot mode, because you know when he's out of dinosaur mode, you have a little bit less feature, like, you know, more feature disadvantages, but you can still just give him his gun. So here we have his gun, just pop it into his hand and he can wield his blaster, and honestly that looks so cool in my opinion. So there he is with that. Now, like I mentioned, one of the things that I absolutely find amazing about this figure in his robot mode is that part of the tail that when he transformed into the leg section, actually like that. So there is, like this section right here is the tip of the tail. It may not color match because it has to be accurate in dinosaur mode, but because it fills in that gap, it's seamless. It's not seamless, it's gapless. There's no gaps. The only gaps that is really on this figure is in the arms, which I think they could have found a way to do, but honestly, I don't care. The fact that there's no form of gapping except for in the arms is absolutely amazing. Everything is covered up, everything is filled in, and that is something that I definitely love to see on more future Hasbro releases. Please, Hasbro, please include more gap filling, because honestly, when it comes to those ugly gaps, like for example, let me see if I can find a figure. Oh yeah, like right here. So here's Bumblebee, for example. You can see those little holes and gaps. That just doesn't look good. I mean, this is a smaller figure, but you know, for something like this, this looks. Whoops. This looks way better. Now let's talk about the articulation. There is way more articulation in this mode because, you know, it's robot mode. But we do get a ball joint at the head, so we can look up that far and down that far, rotate all the way around, and, you know, kind of tilt side to side like so. So that's pretty good. The arms, if you move the back panels out the way, can go all the way around. Actually, let me show you from this angle. All the way around like that. There's that. They can move out about that much and in about that much. There's a elbow bend right here, which can go up only about that far, but that's okay. There is a wrist swivel like that. And then at the waist, we do get a waist swivel, so that is really good. It can go all the way around like so. The legs can kick forward this much and back this much, which you don't really see a lot of on a lot of Transformers figures. And he can do the splits like that, and then he can, if you move the leg up, you have to, I do recommend, because you have to kind of move this in a certain way to where it doesn't unclip like that and move this out of the way. You have to hold that down and then hold the tail part in place, and he does have a 90-degree knee bend, which is okay. I don't expect anything more out of this, honestly, because, I mean, he does have some thick calves, so to have like a little bit farther would be a bit difficult, so I'm not going to blame them for that. And then he does also have a really nice like ankle pivot, so that I love seeing this, and especially with this like little filler detail right here, just to kind of keep it all seamless. That looks great. So articulation as well is a solid 10 out of 10. And for comparison, here we have the Studio Series 86 Grimlock next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. Here he is with the Robot Damashi Evangelion Unit 1, and here he is next to a Porg. So anyways, guys, that is about it for my review on the Studio Series 86 Grimlock. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is definitely one of my favorite figures. If not, this is actually, well, maybe my favorite Grimlock figure. And I did find this for around 55, 60 bucks. I can't remember exactly. So, you know, basic leader class price. It's, you know, you can't really expect anything much from that. But, you know, when it comes to all the other figures in the wave, you know, this is definitely one of the, you know, most, you know, I guess you could say stronger ones. The other ones are okay, but this is definitely one of the ones that carries the 86 line by itself. So definitely love this figure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.